Hey there, it's Jeremy Forcier, CrossCountry Mortgage. I hope this finds you well. I've been getting a ton of questions from consumers, clients, real estate agents alike in regards to something called an appraisal gap. So I would love to explain what an appraisal gap is when you're purchasing a home, especially in a market like this, and how you can still purchase a house if it doesn't appraise for what the purchase price is or your offer price that you're buying it at. So let's first of all just define current market parameters and why appraisal gap is happening. So when there is very, very, very limited inventory like there is right now in the market, sometimes when you go to purchase a house, let's say for $800,000, there might not be comps that have sold just because there's so much limited inventory for an appraiser to come in at the purchase price that you are purchasing. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that someone makes an offer at $800,000 and their appraisal comes back at $789,000. Okay, so that's $11,000. That's the gap. That's $11,000 less than what they were purchasing it for. Now, most people think that that means, oh my gosh, we're not qualified for the loan, or we can't buy the house now, or we have to come up with that $11,000 to make it work. And that's not necessarily true. We're having a lot of success showing people that there are multiple different options. So I'm going to share my screen with you here and walk you through a real scenario so that you can see how to deal with appraisal gap and not let it, number one, ruin a transaction, and number two, get people all up in arms and crazy and irritated like something's not going to go right. So if you can see here on my screen, this is a real scenario, okay, of someone that was buying a $970,000 house. Okay, so in this first column here that I'm going to go over, this is the offer that they made at $970,000 with a 10% down payment. So their loan amount was $873,000. The interest rate was 3.875%, and the monthly payment was $53.1016. Now you can see right here their total cash to close was $111,550. That's down payment and all closing costs, etc. Now, in the second column here, okay, where it says value 920, what I'm showing you all here, and I was showing the client, is that, hey, if the house appraises for $50,000 under what you're buying it for, you can still purchase the home with the same exact loan amount, the same exact cash out of pocket, okay? And the only difference is going to be that the payment is going to be about $130 more per month. Well, why is that? So whenever you're purchasing a home, and if you were putting 10% down, if the appraisal comes in a little bit less than what you were purchasing it for, you can still purchase the home because the lender looks at what is 5% down, minimum down payment on a loan like this, based on the appraised value, not the purchase price. So we were able to create a scenario where the individual could still purchase the home, even though it appraised $50,000 less than what the purchase price was. And the only thing that changes here, right, is the mortgage insurance. That's where the more per month comes into play. So there are multiple ways to do this and to create scenarios where you can close the gap. Now, final thought on this is that oftentimes people will say things like, well, if the house isn't worth that, I just don't want to buy it. Everyone has their own opinion and everyone has their own circumstances. And it is important to know that each individual scenario is different, and my advice is different on each individual scenario. Although right now, because there is such limited inventory, you have to remember that if you purchase a house and it appraises slightly under what you are buying it for, as soon as that house closes, you have now became the next comp for other people buying, meaning that that is the actual value of the house. So in this scenario, even if the house appraised for 920, you bought it for 970, guess what? The house is worth 970 because that's what it closed at. And now there's creating more comps for other people to purchase in that with that same value for the type of home that you bought. So if you ever have any questions about this stuff on how to get creative, or really just how to think inside the box and make sure you maximize your offers, please feel free to reach out to me anytime you'd like. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you and make sure that you're set up appropriately. Hope you found this helpful. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.